So I figured that we could just kind of like chat and catch up while I do my nails. I've been told by a nail artist that whenever you do like gel anything or even nail polish, that you should start with a pH balance to remove any like oils and stuff on your nail so that everything adheres better and it lasts longer. I'm honestly not really sure what to talk about. I had a couple ideas. I thought about following up on my Before Jesus era video, which is a possibility, and even just like setting up the camera and just seeing what kind of comes of it, you know? Seeing kind of what I just say and catching up and everything. There definitely has been like a need for like just an update and where things are outside of like the house stuff. I'm not gonna lie, like the house stuff is definitely like taking up most of the focus and like energy of things, as well as like my husband working a lot and not really getting to spend too much time with him. Things are, and then like for me, like I'm transitioning a little bit in my own stuff and how I'm doing things and how things have been done with content and with my business. And so just trying to figure a lot of things out behind the scenes, which is why like shorts and stuff just haven't been as consistent as they were, and kind of why they dropped from every day to every other day and then now to nothing, which is kind of a drastic shift. But just the way things were getting, the way I was doing things just wasn't sustainable and hasn't really been for me for many reasons, like some of what I just talked about, as well as like my health stuff, which in a lot of ways is better, and then other ways like there's definitely still like a lot to figure out. By the way, I'm using manucurist products because it's supposed to be like natural and like really good for your nails and like actually nourish your nails instead of like taking from them and like breaking them down over time. And the way you remove it, it literally, you just soak it in like this liquid and then a cotton ball, and then you put it on your nail and you put like the clip around it and you let it sit for a minute. And as long as like it's saturated enough, it'll literally all peel off super easy, which I have a habit of not making it saturated enough because I'm just like, feel like I'm doing too much, but I'm not doing enough. So it does take me a little bit longer, and it just like peels off so easy. Like some of it you might have to scrape just a little bit and it's not damaging your nail. Like when I scrape it, I mean like I'm just pushing it with my nail, that's it, or like rubbing it with a cotton ball and it comes off. So but this is the actual first base that it comes with, and which is the Instant Dry Extra Long Vitamized Base Coat, and it gets cured under this LED light that it came with the package I got. And as you can see, it's like, it tells you each button, like so base coat, color, and then top coat. I noticed that for every layer, I think, because I've only done it twice. And the first time was not my greatest work. The second time, I did much better. But I noticed that, like, I don't know if I'm accidentally putting it on too thick, which I might be. It's just really hard because it's not really hard. That was a little over dramatic. But it's just like a little bit challenging because it almost like gets sticky. Like if you're trying to smooth it out and apply it too long. And then I forgot to mention that this is just a box, so I don't like ruin my desk with any of the nail polish, which I don't know if it would. It probably would just wipe right off because it doesn't cure unless it's under the light, but also so that the light doesn't ruin my desk. I don't know if that's even a thing, but I might as well just err on the side of caution and care than anything. But yeah, so that's what I'm using, and if you're interested in these things, they'll be linked in the description as well. But yeah, so I just figured we'll just sit down and kind of catch up, talk about things and whatnot. And so essentially my aim is to hire an editor, which is all new territory for me, for consistency's sake, because I'm a very, very slow editor when it comes to long form. Short form I got pretty down to a system, but it is just so repetitive and to a point to where it actually like is just really taxing. I don't know how to explain it, just mentally. I would really like to hire an editor long term and help with the consistency of content going out. So I only have to worry about like filming and like making the content, which is something that I haven't even really been super able to hone in on as much as I'd like. And that's for also different reasons as well. But so here we go. I'm about to start the next. So base coat. Oh, what I was saying was that the second time I did it, I kind of did like, I think 2 run-throughs of each on each layer through each light to make sure that it was done, because like the first time I did it, it was like kind of crackling or something on like my thumb, and I just think it's because my thumb wasn't like, it was more angled out, you know, when it rests. And so like now I try to make sure it's like angled up and is under the light enough. Yeah, so there would still be some videos that I'd be editing because I really do like that aspect creatively and really feel like I put a lot of my personality into it, which probably sounds funny because you're like, you're just editing a video. What do you mean your personality? But like there is an aspect of like you kind of put like your heart and like your passion, your vision, and your perspective more on it as you're editing it, and it kind of gives space to try new things. And so I think like there'll be certain videos that I will like still edit for sure on my own, and that would probably be more particularly like trips, vlogs, maybe some occasional thrift content, maybe an occasional like home interior content. Definitely so I can like keep my hand on that and kind of keep sharing more of my artistic perspective. And then the editor would be more like sit down video, talk videos, and my podcast, just because my podcast is minimal editing at this point, but the longest part about it is like constantly having to rewatch it through each stage of the process, which I just don't have time to do, or like the brain capacity. Honestly, after some point it all starts blurring together and it gets really confusing, and then I start thinking like, wait, I'm repeating myself, I already said that, blah blah blah, when really like I didn't. My brain is just remembering the last time I watched it, which sounds really funny. But it is like really stressful because then I'm like, wait, what? Like I said that twice, you know, it's just kind of trippy. And then I have to constantly tell myself, no, it's just from when that you rewatched it already and blah, blah, blah. And when I shortchange the rewatching process, just to be honest, then there's issues when I upload it to YouTube and then I don't catch it until it's already live. And my whole thing is that I don't want issues happening with videos that are live. I want everything to like be in a really good place and really good quality for you guys. And I want things to feel like as real as possible. I mean, because it is, but I mean like give this like feeling that it's just me and you know, and you're here sitting and talking with me, whether that's on a podcast, a long form, a vlog. And vlogs are a little different because I just kind of like tend to want the perspective of like yes, you're there, but it's almost like you're kind of a bug on the wall, like a fly on the wall in a sense, specifically on trips where I'm not really like talking too much to the camera and everything, because I'm more focused on like being present and being present with like my husband. Especially because like we don't really get to go on a whole lot of trips often. Last year was the most we had traveled in a year. Part of that was because there was like some church trips. I try to be like really present, and I struggle with like pulling out the camera and whatnot. So it's still something that I'm trying to get used to. So vlogs are just a little bit different. I kind of want you to feel like you're there, but kind of like viewing it as if like it was unfiltered. Does that make sense? Like it's just, you're seeing it as it is, as those moments were, and not like trying to put on a show or this perspective, even, but also as well trying to make it look cool and interesting and whatever. And so like I haven't really quite figured out how to do that, but essentially I'd probably keep my hand on those editing wise because I want that creative control still. And then obviously if I hire an editor, I would still very much be saying what is happening, what I want, what I like, what I don't like, and still putting my like print on it in an aspect, but it just wouldn't be like fully edited by me by any means, but would have my voice in it. Does that make sense? I'm honestly trying to think of like what do I want to talk about, because I can keep giving like, was that the first or second? I think that was the second. Yeah, I think that was the second. Because I'm debating on whether or not like I want to get into, this is the actual second coat technically. And this is the color. I try to keep it looking, I hope you can see that. It looking very natural, like my nails but better, or like a lip gloss nail. I've seen it on Pinterest and I've asked my nail person to do it before. This color is a little lighter than I'd like. It still like looks really good. It's just, I just think it looks a little weird because my skin's a little darker sometimes, but it still looks really good. It still gets the job done. I'll probably try another color next. But it's just hard because you don't want something when you're trying to go for like a natural look, you don't want something that's too like opaque. But nonetheless, this is where my mind's going, so we're just along for the ride, both of us. So I definitely like want to talk about my before Jesus era video in that series, which this might be clipped and added to that series. I don't know. Oh, come on. See, this is what I mean when like you're not going fast enough. It starts kind of getting sticky, which you can't really see because of the angle, but it's like starts getting kind of streaky. And so then I want to like put more paint on so it doesn't like get tacky right away. But then it doesn't like give the same natural effect. Anyways, yeah, so the before Jesus era series, there's an aspect of it where I really know, I understand that like there's more emphasis on the negative than the positive. And I don't want to make it seem like everything was just really bad and the guy I was dating at the time was really bad. That's not my intention. But there is an aspect of it where it was like for me that bad. Does that make sense? Like the effects it had on me and still in some ways still has on me, I mean, are legit and aren't to be taken like lightly, and are things that I very much am like intentionally like and have been intentionally for a while now addressing. And so like there is an aspect of that video where it very much is highlighting the hard and difficult parts of those seasons of my life. And so like part of me felt like this wrestle of, am I being dishonest? Am I not actually saying what really happened? Am I making it sound worse than it was? And honestly, I don't think I am. Can I say more of the good? For sure. For sure. And that's definitely something I've acknowledged. And so I guess it's kind of like what's been on my mind with that series and kind of why I haven't revisited it, because it's kind of like this whole thing of, okay, am I gonna like sit down and record and kind of share the good of everything I already shared? Or am I gonna continue forward and just move on to the next parts and the parts that I kind of didn't expound upon and like I kind of missed or whatever. And so I've kind of just been in like this stuck spot with it and haven't been quite sure how to move forward. Again, not everything was bad. There was like anything, okay? Like there's good moments and there's good times and like I don't regret it. Those like things in that like relationship. Looking back, I know that like I wasn't really, so this is where we're at so far. And this is nails with a pH balance, clear coat, and then color. Can you kind of see the difference? Just one layer of color. I'm about to put another layer potentially. Actually, I don't know. I think I kind of like it like that. I think technically you're supposed to put two, but I always kind of just play it. I think I kind of just like that look. I think it looks more, maybe. Wow, that's difficult. I think I just like that look, so I think I'm gonna keep that. And so, what was I saying? So that, yeah, that relationship wasn't all bad.
1 hour and 30 minutes later.
And so like, I'm just hoping that this kind of just gives a lot of background and like, this allows you to talk with me, to get to know me and hear more of my story and see more of like my heart, even my personality. I hope you've been able to see that a bit more. That's something I'm really trying to grow at, is being more myself with you and sharing these things. And it's also like something where I don't ever want to hurt people or be offensive to people, and so like I do try to be very careful with what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, but I also don't want to be dishonest and inaccurate of how I feel and how it affected me and how I experienced it. And so like that's really hard to talk about, things, difficult things that have to do with other people, and hopefully that makes sense. But on that note, I've enjoyed this time. I'm so thankful to have been able to talk, and I'm honestly super excited to do this more and to see how this kind of like continues to like develop and unfold. And I'm just thankful for you, and I want you to know that you matter. You're not alone. Like, I know that it may feel that way sometimes, but just hang in there, okay? Things aren't staying where they seem they will. All right, see ya. Take care, friend.